Hey y'all, this is Marsha E. Dudley, and welcome to my live stream this afternoon. So I am here in my car because I am a woman, I am an entrepreneur, I am a mother, I am a full-time employee. So I wear many hats, and so wherever I can, everywhere is my office. Let's just say it like that. So y'all, this afternoon, I wanted to just again, we're gonna have a live this afternoon. And if you've been in the group, the wait is over. And you've been looking all this week, we've been talking about hormonal issues. I've shared the one thing I've definitely expressed was about fibroids, and I gave some information about fibroids. I gave information about estrogen and progesterone and how all these things play a part in our hormone as us as women, our hormonal makeup. Um, like I posted in the video in the group, I just wanted to end this week with some just per inspiration. But I wanted you to hear the story because I got a snippet of her story when she was going through her process, her journey. But I wanted her to share it because I have had many conversations with this young lady. I love her story. I love her spirit. I think that she is an amazing woman, amazing mother and wife. And I like to definitely make sure that I connect myself with people that are just as amazing as myself. So, without further ado, I want to bring on our guest this afternoon. She is sharing her truth. Let's bring on Crystal Jackson James. Hey, Crystal.
Hey, Marsha, how you doing?
I am wonderful. How about you?
Great, great, great.
So again, I was just giving everybody just an overview as why we're doing this live. Before you get started and share your testimony, the one thing that I did want to share with all of our viewers is that we're talking about Crystal's truth regarding her journey with fibroids and hysterectomy. But I also want to make sure I just give y'all some knowledge. 70 to 80% of women develop them at some point in their lives, usually before 50 years old. Um, 68% of those women are Black women, and a lot of it I feel like is because they say that your diet and different things like that, but it also can be genetics and stuff like that.
Yep,
But I do still believe that um, we as a people, our diet does play a lot of part in a lot of the ailments that we may experience. And not we're not this is not no black white, none of that crap, because we don't have that in this group. But because we are Black women, I do have to address this.
yep,
I feel like we are so far behind the health, as far as understanding health and being healthy, because that's not a lot of things that we're taught in a lot of our homes. So we're trying to make up for a lot of things, and our bodies are our bodies are basically taking the hit for those things that we did not know. But one thing about it, I have girls, Crystal has two girls, and we're going to
mhm,
make sure that we teach our girls what they're supposed to do with their bodies. um I also wanted to point out, there's so many different there's so many different little myths and all these little things that surround a person, a woman having a hysterectomy. And a lot of times women don't want to share that type of thing with the world because they feel that they can be judged. And coming up,
mhm,
there's all these stereotypes
yep,
attached to a woman in her womb. So
yep.
again, I'm gonna stop talking, Crystal. I want
You're
you
good.
to no, I want you to share your story because like I said, I you did share some of your story with us quite a while back, but there are a lot of ladies on here that have not heard your story, and I want them the opportunity to hear your story. So,
Okay.
sing your hand.
All right. Well, first, I always give honor to God. Anything I do. I want to also thank Marsha for even thinking of me, allow me to share my story, my journey, and my testimony. So, just a little about myself. Crystal Jackson James. I'm 39, African American, Mount Pleasant, Texas. I'm a wife. I'm a mother, entrepreneur. I'm about to be a coach, a teacher. Um, Christian, just do a lot in the community. But the big thing that, like Marsha said, we don't discuss is our health and what we go through. So just a little bit of my testimony is that I had fibroid. I actually had one big fibroid and then I ended up having a hysterectomy. So to go back around year 2017, 2018, I had already had my tubes tied. We weren't going to have any more kids. I was done. I had my tubal. Went in every year for my annual. Never had an abnormal pap smear, no issues. Thinking on this day, I'm going in and I'm getting out. Go see my doctor, have my, have my annual. He comes in and he has this weird look on his face. He said, "Hey, have you had any weird symptoms or anything?" Now me, I'm thinking, oh, it's probably, my tubal or my cycle. Very heavy cycle, very painful, like cramps, constant going to the restroom. It used to be when I was very active. I was an athlete before kids, before, like you say, with our diets. My menstrual was like 3 days. I was good. After my tubal, 6, 7 days. I said, okay. I said, yeah, these are the issues I'm having. He said, hey, we're going to do an ultrasound. Now I'm thinking in my head, I know I'm not about to have another baby. That's just what I kept thinking. I know I'm not pregnant. Like, I know this ain't about to happen. Like, no, like this can't be happening. What did he do wrong? So he comes in, he says, okay, Crystal, we need to talk. You have a fibroid. Now I'm going to be honest with everyone. I didn't know what a fibroid was, never heard of it, never studied it, discussed it. So I'm thinking, okay, this is an easy fix. What are you going to give me? We're done. So, but he has this look on his face like we really got to discuss some things. At that time, it was kind of, a little kind of small, but it was very noticeable. He told me, what a fibroid was, basically what Marsha said. What are the causes? It could have been my diet, could have been, as far as genetics, because my mom actually had a hysterectomy at age 72. We found out she had like uterine cancer. So it was a red flag, like, okay, could this have been passed down? What do we need to do? So we're talking, he gives me 3 options. So for us, the main option is you can take birth control, or you can do like an ablation, or you can do natural remedies, or you have a hysterectomy. Well, when he said hysterectomy, it was a absolute no, because growing up, hysterectomy, you don't want that. You don't do that. They're going to take my womanhood. Like
Yes.
it was a no. Like it wasn't a discussion. It wasn't here, hand me a pamphlet, let me read it. Just growing up, you did not want a hysterectomy. So for me, Marsha and everybody watching, I decided to do birth control. I was on birth control before one time in my life. Take a pill, let's see what it does. Why did I do that? Because I don't like taking medicine. So I would forget to take my pill just because, I had my tubes tied. So as the months are going on, nothing's changing because I'm not taking the birth control. I had a conversation with Marsha about some stuff. I had talked to one of my nieces, we did some natural things, just wasn't for me. So the very next year, so this is around going into like 2019, I decided not to go get my annual because I didn't want to know. What if it's got bigger? What if it's more? What if, what if it's cancerous? So I decided not to go in 2019. 2020 come around, my mom is very ill. My mom actually passes in 2020, but before she passed, we had a conversation. She said, I need you to take care of your body. I need you to get that taken care of. That was her telling me, I'm not going to be here very long, but I need you to be here to take care of my granddaughters. So it was just very like, okay, mom, what are you telling me? So January 2021 come around, I go see my doctor again. He's like, it's been a couple years. What's going on? I told him it was the fear of hearing what if. I go through, my annual. He says it's bigger. And so I just instantly said, I have one or two options. Either let it continue to grow and overtake me, or take me out, or have a hysterectomy. I ended up having a hysterectomy. Like it was just calm. Like the doctor's office was very calm, everything. For people that don't know what a hysterectomy is, it is basically the removal of your uterus. You can also remove your fallopian tubes. You can remove your ovaries. You can also remove like your or your cervix. You can have it all removed or partial. For me and my journey, I decided to have everything removed. So they removed it all. Um, it was about a 6 week wait. So, I had to go through some stuff. You deal with your finances, you deal with this, you deal with that. But then also, I had to be spiritually, mentally ready to feel like, okay, is my womanhood about to be taken away from me? And for me, it wasn't. So I went on, I had the surgery. A quick little thing about my surgery. Normally you have to stay in the hospital 2 days. Like they're not going to let you leave before 2 days just because they want to monitor you, make sure everything's good. I'm pretty headstrong, pretty stubborn. I'm not staying in this hospital for 2 days. So at this time, it's COVID too. So I could only have one person come in and out to
Yeah.
see me, which was my sister. So my sister was with me. My kid's godmother helped out. My husband took the girls. Everything was good. So as I sat in that hospital bed, I went through my surgery. It was about an hour and a half. It wasn't long at all. They actually went through. So I had two C-sections with my daughters, and they went through the same cut. So I don't have a different cut or anything. That night, I just was up praying. I stayed up. I don't like hospitals, so I stayed up all night. And I said that morning, I'm getting up and I'm leaving out of this hospital. Um, my sister had left. I got up, went to the restroom. Now they tell you don't get up without any assistance. You need a nurse in here. I'm kind of stubborn and headstrong. So I got up myself, took myself to the restroom. Yes, I did, Marsh. Yes, I did. Don't I did. I got up, got myself ready, cleaned up, packed my bag. I was sitting on my bed and in my mind, I'm ready to go. My doctor comes in and he's like, Crystal, what are you doing? I said, I'm going home today. He said, no one goes home before. I said, well, what do I need to show you? I'm ready to go home. Me being a person that don't like medicine, I didn't take a lot of pain medicine either. I said, I'm just ready to go home. I still got to be a mother. I need to make sure my girls are good, this and that. So I actually went home that afternoon. So it surprised a
Wow.
lot of people. I was able to walk. They made me, get in the wheelchair afterwards just to make sure I was good. But I literally walked in our home. I sat on the couch. I did everything I needed to do. Pain wasn't my pain tolerance pretty high, so it wasn't bad. But the next day, you could feel a difference. So you do have to take some medicine here and there. Um, a lot of people will tell you it takes about a year to really get back to yourself. For me, I actually drove 3 days later. Like I took myself yes, I did, Marsha. I know. I just very independent. And I think a lot of us women have that mindset that I don't want to be a burden on anyone. So I ended up driving myself to where I wanted to go get something to eat, came back. As months pass, I feel good. I go back to work. Um, I was able to sit up. For me, it was a good experience and it was the right choice
Yeah.
for me. As far as, as they say, well, how did you do with your hormones, did you go through menopause? I actually went instantly into menopause. I started having hot flashes. I had every symptom there was, and it got to the point it was just unbearable. So I had to call my doctor. He gave me some pills. I took them for a couple months and it just wasn't for me. So I just stopped pretty much cold turkey. And now it's been about, another year. I have a hot flash every blue moon now. So for
Okay.
me, it was a great choice for me.
So I've read for a lot of women to that have hysterectomies, it's better, like you said, you chose not to do the hormone
Mhm,
replacement. A lot of them say, well, you should work out or do something like
mhm.
that. What do you think has helped you in this year, um, you know, be able to, find that balance on the inside? What do you think that you've done, or
Definitely being more
haven't
active.
done?
Mhm.
Okay, so you are
Being
more active.
Yeah, being more active, not as active as I was maybe in my 20s or in my, early 30s, but just getting up, moving around, not just being stagnant, diet wise, I've given up sodas and things like that. I don't know if that helped, but just kind of changing how I eat. We do a lot more air fry cooking, more grilling, things like that. And
Mhm.
I think that played a factor in it as well. And just getting up, having that get up and go. Because I think the more that you're still, it causes issues for some.
So, and then I want to ask this because I have a lot of women, because I had fibroids as well,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
it caused infertility. But a lot of women always say, when you went to your doctor, how did you, what did you do to say, okay, a hysterectomy is what I'm going to do, or because I chose a myomectomy, where
Hmm.
they go in and they remove the fibroid. And just for those that are out there are different. I think that for each person,
Hmm.
you have to say, this is my life, this
Yeah.
is what I'm going through,
Hmm.
and these are the options that I have for myself. This person may choose this route, this person may choose that route. I think you have to choose the route that is best for you. I say that. But I also believe that you should know what your options are. Do you think that your doctors presented you with all of your options out there before you came to your conclusion?
No, I personally don't. I think, and to be honest, some doctors push hysterectomy off the top. But like I said, I never heard of a, no, you had a mal hysterectomy. I never even heard of that.
No,
All I
no,
heard was
I had a myomectomy.
myomectomy. See, and I've never heard of that. So no, I personally think, and now talking to you, the doctors don't give you every option. And I think that's where we have to go and do a little bit more research or get a second opinion if needed.
Did you get a second opinion?
No, ma'am, I did not. No, after, like I said, the conversation with my mom and things wasn't getting better, that was pretty much my option B was, okay, I need to listen to what my mom said and I need to be here. So that's why I chose the hysterectomy.
And I'm asking all of these questions only
Hmm.
because if you know my, you have to know my heart. You,
Yes,
me, I want to. This isn't about me or you, because we both went through our journey. This is about us. As I
right.
told you, us sharing our testimony, your testimony with someone else and helping someone else. In going through this, how you were talking about your, after your tubal ligation,
Hmm.
your periods went from 3 days to 7 days, and they
Hmm.
were heavy. Did
Yeah.
you have, because a lot of people always say, well, did you have any other symptoms? Was it
Hmm.
just the heavy bleeding? What else, what other, were you having any other issues?
Yes, a lot of bloating. Even when I wasn't on my, menstrual, my cycle, I was bloated in my lower stomach every day. I had to use the bathroom all the time, like as far as, like urinating. So those are some of the symptoms of fibroids. And I would, like I said, we would give up sodas, we put on our waist trainers, we do all this
Mhm.
but there's still something wrong. I kept saying, why is my stomach not going down? I'm doing this, I'm
Yeah.
doing that. And that was some of the symptoms that I had. Besides, I was also like very nauseous a lot. I was
Yes.
sluggish. So
Very
I
nice.
had it all. Like I was just like, what is going on? But you don't know until you get checked out. Mhm.
Yeah, and that was probably the one thing that I experienced a lot of. And it was the, I would tell people my fibroids, they caused me so much trauma, because they would make me, I was trying to get pregnant at that time,
Right.
and I would get nauseous. And so a fibroid can mimic, like,
Hmm.
you think, you make you think you're pregnant. So I
Sure
kept
can.
always thinking I was pregnant, and
Hmm.
I was never never pregnant.
Right.
And
Hmm.
it's just, I went through so many different things during
Hmm.
that process. So for you, you said you had the heavy bleeding, you had the nausea, and just for you out there, those are definite
Yep.
signs of
Hmm.
fibroids.
Yep.
And you have to remember, and just so you that are out there understand what fibroids are. Fibroids are nothing but very fibrous tissue
Hmm.
that comes from, that is basically muscle. It comes from your
Yep.
uterine wall. It's basically just like your uterine wall turns into this big hunk of
Mm-hmm.
skin, a big hunk of mass.
Right.
And
Uh-huh.
they can be on the inside or on the outside of the uterus. Um, so you just have to, so you may have all these different types of symptoms and different, so you just have to be very in tune with your body.
Mm-hmm.
So when you went back and you said, okay, hey, this is what I'm going to do. um you said that it took about 6 weeks to get your hysterectomy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
what is the downtime for an average person, not for Crystal, because Crystal, apparently you are not average. Because baby, I done had two babies. My first baby, I had vaginally.
Uh-huh.
That second baby, I had an emergency cesarean. And baby,
Right.
I'm telling you right now, woo,
Mm-hmm.
I was down for 2 3 months. And
Mm-mm.
here you are talking about driving a
I
couple of
did.
days later.
Uh-huh.
That's crazy to
I
me. That's
know. I
crazy.
know. And I had two, like I had emergency C-section with my oldest. I went back to work within like 4 weeks. Then my next baby, we had it scheduled, but I was driving too. So I want to say the
No.
normal downtime probably, I mean, I've talked to women that said it took them a year to bounce back, like
Yeah.
fully be them.
Yes.
I seen a lady
Yeah.
the other day, she just had one and she struggled. She's in like week 2 and she's struggling. So I would probably
Yes.
say 6 months to 12, like a year, 6 months to a year to probably get the normal strength back up and going. So, yeah.
So ladies, I want you to hear that. Now you can't listen. Everybody is not made out of stuff Crystal's made out of. For for the rest of us, sis, if you need to take your year, it's
Mm-hmm.
okay. Your
Yeah.
6 months to a year, it's okay. Give your body that time to truly heal.
Yes.
Yeah, but I need to be made out of what you're made out of, because I,
Something wrong with me.
something wrong with, look, no,
Something wrong with
maybe
me.
something wrong with me.
Something's wrong with
And
me. So,
so to let's talk about the stigma
okay.
of hysterectomy, because for me, and for me, like I said, I had fibroids. Did mine go out? Did the sound go
No, you're
out?
still on. No, you're good.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Can
Uh-uh.
you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
Can you hear me?
I can.
Mm-mm.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, can you hear me, Crystal? Crystal, can you hear me? Is that me? Crystal, can you hear me?
Yes. Uh-huh.
What, girl, was that me that
I
just
don't
knocked
know.
us
I can
off?
hear you talking, and then that's okay.
Well, we're almost finished anyway. But
Okay.
I was wanting to address some of the stigma that goes along with having a hysterectomy, because I feel like so many women suffer in silence
Hmm.
and they don't get the proper help that they need, because of what you said earlier
Hmm.
about you growing up, and even myself, we growing up hearing the things, oh, you have your uterus taken, you're less than a woman, not a woman, whatever. That is bull crap.
That's
And
right.
I want, that's the main thing that I wanted women to hear. That is bull crap.
Hmm.
You your DNA made you a woman.
Right.
That's bottom line.
That's it.
But at the end of the day, we have to be real. We do live in a world where the world says that, oh, you have a hysterectomy, this or that or whatever. That How did you battle that part?
Really, for me, it was what did I need to do for my girls? What did I need to do for my health? Not everybody else, because everybody's story, everybody's journey, everybody, recovery time is different. So for me, it was a need. And like we said, growing up, yes, we heard you don't do this, you don't do that. But for me, it was the best, best decision. And I didn't have all the issues that some have. If we go into the part of, as far as you hear a lot of people, oh, well, how are you sexually? How are you, with your sex drive, things like that. I mean, to me and more other women I've discussed, the sex drive is just higher. It's even higher. There's no difference than what it was before. Um, I feel that self-love is the best love. You've got to take care of yourself. And this is a new day. It's a new generation. And when we grew up, our moms, the older generation, didn't really talk about our bodies. Oh, you don't talk
At
about that.
all.
That's private. You don't go and tell everybody you've got your menstrual. But now you have to understand that our daughters, our girls, the younger generation has access to internet, their friends, their
Everything.
phones. You've got to be able to have these conversations, and you don't want it to be too late, because I didn't always get to have a chance to have these conversations with my mom, especially as a little girl or a young lady
Yeah.
in my 20s. Well, what is this? What is that? So could I have maybe prevented my fibroid? Maybe so, if I just would have known. And we were able to have conversations like this, because I feel we got to be able to be open, and sharing your story may help somebody else. Because when I shared mine a few years ago, so many people, Marsha, reached out to me and told me theirs. I had friends went ahead and got a hysterectomy. They were waiting, they were scared. And so it took courage. It took a lot of praying to
Yes.
open my journey, my story to the world, because I actually put it on Facebook and told a lot of people what I went through. But what I got in return was so many women just,
Yeah.
I needed that. And I am, like
Yeah.
I said, I'm an open book. You can ask me if I can help the next lady, the next woman, I'm all for it. So you have to do what's best for you. And we've got to go to the doctors. Growing up, we didn't go to the doctors. Oh, you scraped your knee, go put some on it. Now, with so much stuff in this world, you got to go to the doctor. You got to take care of yourself.
So I have to ask you this.
Yeah.
I know that you went through that period where you was like, I don't want to go to the doctor because I don't want to know.
Hmm.
If you had to do over, would you have went
Hmm.
so that you could, you know, not if it would or could change anything,
Hmm.
but I think it's so important for us to get our yearlies, our
Hmm.
annuals, because early detection is always,
That's
the
right.
best for all of us.
Hmm.
Um, are you still scared about going to the doctor even after having this? That's good.
Mm-mm. No, I do. I have some regrets of not going when I should have that following year, because it could have been worse. I could have had more fibroids. I could have came up with something else just from having fear. And, a lot of us talk about faith, and you do have to have faith. You have to trust every process. Now, I mean, I make my appointment now before I get my text message from my doctor, just because now I know, hey, it could have been worse. And I just thank God that it wasn't. So yes, I have no hesitation going to the doctors now.
And I think that a lot of time our faith is connected to our knowledge.
Hmm.
When we don't know something, we
Yes.
fear it.
Hmm.
And I think that that's why it's so important for women like yourself and myself that have went through different things to share our story, so
Hmm.
that we can put the knowledge out there, so that we can stop Satan in his track against the fear,
Right.
because the fear is what's destroying all people.
That's
But
right.
when it comes to your health, fear
Hmm.
can kill you.
It
And
can.
that's the bottom line.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And, you
So
know, don't be ashamed to find a friend. Don't be ashamed to
yeah.
inbox someone, in
Hmm.
confidence. I'm going through this, because everyone can help someone. And my
Yes.
story, Marsha's story, helped me to get to say, this is what I need to do. Well, then my story may help somebody else. Everybody may not want to share their story to the world, but there's
Hmm.
somebody out there that will listen. They will talk to you. They will go with you to the doctor. Like I said, my sister was she was my everything. and
Babe, I love
always,
your sister.
yeah, she's a mess.
I
But
love your sister,
she
okay?
hard on me too though. She was the one mad at me. But
She's supposed to be.
I knew that I could trust her. I knew she was gonna take
Mhm.
care of me, and she did. And every appointment she was right there. So we
Yeah,
all have a sister somewhere. And I would be that
that's
sister for
it.
anyone, a listening ear.
Yes.
Um, just get out, get checked. Um, because you don't want to wait. You don't.
Okay. So, in closing, I'd like for you to, what advice would you give a woman who just found out that she has fibroids? What advice would you give her? She may be scared, she may be feeling lonely, she doesn't understand. What advice, since you went through this, what advice would you give that woman?
The advice I would give someone just finding out, first you've got to get a relationship with God. You've got to pray. You've got to form your own personal relationship. You need to also do your own research. Don't always just jump on Google and take the first thing you
Mhm.
see. Research, go to libraries. There's different type of groups that you can join just to talk and listen and learn, but then also get you a doctor that will sit down and discuss every option. Get you that sister, get you that friend that will go with you, and just know that you're not alone. Like, there's a lot of us that have been there, done that, but just don't wait. There's so many different cures. Like I said, I'm a walking, living testimony that I was once in your shoes. And as
Mm,
we say, hysterectomy may not be for everyone, but there's options. But you need to know your options and do what's best for you.
yes.
And just know that everything is going to be okay. And like I said, the biggest thing is you're not alone. There's so many of us that have went through it and going through it now.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't listen. I can't even touch that. Everything that you said was perfect. Absolutely perfect. I want to say thank you so much for sharing your time, sharing your story, your truth with us. And we respect and love and honor you. We thank God for you. We pray
Thank
continued
you.
healing over your body, over your family. And if y'all don't know, this sister just started her brand new job. She's gonna be in Mount Pleasant as a coach. So praise
I am.
God. You
Yeah.
look, y'all gonna be so awesome and do great things this year
Oh,
just because you're connected. That's the
thank
thing.
you. Well, I want to tell you,
I love your
Marcia,
spirit. Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for this platform. Thank you for, the knowledge. As I look at your Facebook page, I mean, you fill us up more than you know. And you're being vulnerable as well, opening doors that some people, are scared to open and go in. So thank you for your journey, where you're going, where you're taking all women. You are appreciated. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Man,
All right. So y'all, um, we appreciate y'all so much for joining us. If you are doing the replay, make sure you do hashtag replay. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our channel. And if you have any type of questions, please put those questions in our comment section. I will make sure Crystal gets those questions so that she can talk to you. And as she said, you have sisters here for you. So if there's anything that you're standing in the need of, we are here for you. Y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. See y'all next time.
okay.